And so this morning we have a school teacher, a woman of faith, and a Young Voices contributor. You guys know how much I love Young Voices. I'm bringing over to the show Juliana Sweeny. She's a contributor to Young Voices. Follow her Twitter profile. Wife, teacher, seeking the kingdom, contributor for Young Voices. And here is her Twitter account. I'm going to bring her over to the show. Good morning. How are you, Juliana? Nice to finally meet you.
Eden, it's so good to meet you. I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. I heard that you were a participant in the eMord education piece the other night, and we had him on the show yesterday. So thank you for stirring the pot. Thank you for raising your voices in Virginia, because it sounds like there's a lot happening. I also have shared with the audience on the social feed your article that Fox News posted, and I'm going to put it up here so people can see it. But it really is talking about, here we go, the destructive plan that will threaten students' safeties with woke bathroom policies. What is going on? Why is this happening? And you are a school teacher in Loudoun County, correctly?
Yes, that's correct. I am a school teacher at a private school in Loudoun County. So as it pertains to that specific policy, so Loudoun County recently proposed and adopted a budget item for 2 high schools in the county to have co-ed bathrooms. And let me tell you a little bit about these bathrooms. So
Sure.
it's shared bathrooms between men and women. And when you walk in the restroom, there would be a line of sinks, a hallway of sinks, and then floor to ceiling bathroom stalls that are completely enclosed. So while that does provide some privacy, that obviously raises a lot of issues with safety and also the principle in and of itself that we're asking our 13 and 14-year-old girls potentially to share bathrooms with 18, 19, 20-year-old men.
Okay, so there's something so evil about what you just said. So I always ask the question, follow the money. Where is this money coming from to have this destructive but yet impactful behavior within the school system? Where's this money coming from?
Yeah, absolutely. Good question. Well, as you already said, Loudoun County is one of the, if not the wealthiest county in the country, but that doesn't take away from the fact that these $11 million are coming from taxpayers, from parents who may or may not be sending their children to public schools, and just taxpayers in general who may or may not have anything to do with the public school. And that's how public schools are funded generally. But another one of the problems with the price is this is the renovation of only 2 high school bathroom facilities. And so if they were going to follow through with renovating the rest of the high schools in the county or the rest of the dozens of elementary, middle, high schools in the county, this would be hundreds of millions of dollars, not just $11 million.
So do you think it's obvious, common sense, this is Common Sense America, so common sense would say they're making a political statement more than anything?
Yes, I think it is a political statement, especially considering transgender individuals or individuals who suddenly call themselves transgender already have a lot of special rules in place for themselves. They already can choose which bathroom they would like to go to. There are some private bathrooms. And so we are creating a supposed solution to tailor the student experience to a very select few students.
So a couple concerns I have, remembering what it was like being in school, remembering, I was that girl that always had to use the restroom because I was always drinking water, trying to stay hydrated. But I also remember when I didn't get to go, that caused physical issues. And I sit here and say to the young women who are coming up, who are still developing, are they going to wait to go to the bathroom until they get home that full school day because they don't want to be subjected to potential assaults? That's a huge concern. So that's my first huge concern. So we're looking out for a very small population, but yet we are destroying the greater population of individuals who need to help take care of themselves. This physical piece of it is huge. And go ahead. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, absolutely. Women already have a hard time, excuse me, going to the restroom in public places,
Yeah.
not to mention girls as well. High school is very uncomfortable. And now you're adding a whole new layer of uncomfort going and a safety concern going into the restroom for young girls. And so there certainly is a health aspect to this as well. You hit it on the head.
So talk to me about this. You are a school teacher in Loudoun County, and I'm surprised they haven't basically censored you and taken you out for you doing all these interviews and talking about this. What does this Where does this position you in the sense of your career, your convictions, and the bridge of that to, are you going to continue being that salt and light in a very dark school, knowing that it is your goal to protect these children? Or are you going to say, you know what, maybe I should guide these parents in a different space? There's so many, and I talked with the Senate candidate yesterday. I said, so many parents are now considering, not just in Virginia, but around the nation, homeschooling or some kind of online learning because they are trying to protect their children from this demonic force of the woke indoctrination. And that's what it is. So, what do you say to the parents when you are literally watching this happen in front of you, knowing that you want to be the salt and light, right? But also, how do you go about your day to day?
You know, there are more than 81,000 children in the Loudoun County public school system. And that's a lot of kids who are not across the board, but largely being indoctrinated by the woke policies of the left because the leftists in our country have taken over the school system. And so, for my fellow Christians, for my fellow believers, and even people of other faith,
Yeah.
my encouragement is really don't send your kids to schools that hate you, that hate your values, that call you domestic terrorists. And certainly sending your children to private schools is an investment. And I grew up in Southern Arizona,
Hmm.
and I was if I could say, a faithful
Yeah.
Fox News watcher growing up
Yeah.
with my grandparents. And
Yeah.
so I did not think very fondly of Loudoun County and Fairfax County because you hear about all of these crazy policies coming out of this Northern Virginia school system. I never thought that I would be a teacher for one, but then for two, I never thought I would be a teacher in Loudoun County. I came to the DC area to pursue politics, like many of us out here, and that
Yeah.
wasn't a great fit. And so it was interesting. I was telling the story yesterday how the day that I went to get fingerprinted for my current role as a teacher was the
Right.
day that news broke about a transgender student or a male student
Yeah.
who came in with a skirt, said he was transgender, and raped a girl. That was the day that I said, yes, I want to be a teacher. And so I do feel like I've been placed in Loudoun County for this time, for this
Yeah.
purpose. I didn't move across the country to teach, to raise a ruckus, if you will, about the
Yeah.
policies, but that's where I have been placed for this time. And it makes the most sense to speak up on this issue. It seems like nobody else, and there are others, so many others I can think of on the right who are raising awareness
Yes.
on these crazy policies that are truly hurting our children. But it's we need more people, and so that's why I'm speaking up on this issue because our children matter. They are the most vulnerable among us, and they need adults, parents, teachers
Yes.
who are speaking up for them.
Yes, no, I applaud you. I applaud you with that calling. It's massive in so many aspects. I want to tell you a story about, I'm here in Eastern North Carolina, so we cover, it's a battleground state on many senses. We have a Democrat governor, Republican lieutenant governor, and we are a mix. We are a combination of a lot of Northerners, myself included, having moved down here for military veteran purposes and retirement. So I was given a story a couple months ago about a little boy who was assaulted in the bathroom by one of his peers. And the parents joined the show, and a couple of concerned citizens joined the show. Well, I'm glad they did because we stirred the pot. But here's what the point of this I'm telling you is I want to kind of pull from you as we are facing so many different pieces of the battleground within our country, what we can say to educators who still care. What can we say to the parents? What can we say to those who are on school boards but have no voice? So that's what happened here. The parents cried out, and evidently, this school had other abuse issues. A teacher was being abused by a
Mm.
student in the same school. This is an elementary school. And instead of the school board working with the parents, working with this teacher that they hired, that they were working towards, they texted me and harassed me for talking about this issue, saying I have no journalistic principles and how dare you even, how dare you not interview us? Well, I'll interview you when you start helping some people and you make a difference, because right now you are the enemy. Right now you are hurting more children than you're helping. And 2 days ago, same school district, I get messages from a good friend who's a mom over there with 3 boys. Same issues are coming out. It is, and I shared this with Jonathan Emord, the Senate candidate, yesterday. It is, these stories are happening nationwide. And and I said to him, I said, we the people put these people in place. We tell them what to do. It's not the other way around.
Absolutely.
And I said to him, I said, what are you telling your future constituents? Where are you giving them hope? Because I am a woman of faith. I pray for this nation daily, and that's what we need to do. And we need to stay relevant in the public square as much as they want to censor us. All that said, what do you say to fellow educators or those who are coming through Christian universities, secular universities, who want to be educators? What do you say to them with this war that they're already going into?
That what we're doing does matter and does make a difference. And as a teacher, we might not see our investment, the return on our investment for many years, but hopefully we are instilling in our students good values and courage and confidence in a
Mhm.
generation that is lacking on a lot of those things. I hope
Yes.
that the only thing I can give my students is confidence in themselves and in their savior. And also in this country that was founded on biblical principles, not perfect, of course.
Right.
It's, frustrating. We even have to give that caveat. But if you don't give that caveat, people will come at you for that as
Yes.
well. But I want our children to love this country, love the Lord, love one another. That's what we're called to. And then as parents, and I'm not a parent yet, hopefully someday soon, but encouraging parents also to care about their children by paying attention to what's going on and seeing it as important and not sweeping issues under the rug anymore. And so our hope is not just in the policies, although we do need Christian policymakers. We need people like Jonathan Emord and others in Loudoun County who are stepping up to the plate, knowing that it's not a safe option right now. You
Right.
already mentioned the group in Loudoun County that is attacking, physically
Yes.
attacking people who have put their name in the ring, but we do need good people who love this country to put their names out there, to be willing to speak up. And as more of us come out of the crevices, as more of us start speaking up, we'll realize that we're not alone in that. I have a good friend who worked at a public school in Arizona. And she talked about how it was just the assumption in the teacher's lounge that everybody was left leaning, or that everybody was an atheist, or that
Mhm.
everybody agreed to wear masks. And there were some who were silent, but they didn't feel like they could speak up because those are their coworkers.
Right.
And so we need to start speaking up. We need to be, it feels vulnerable and it doesn't feel
Yes.
great, but we need more people to speak up.
Yes, no, you well said, well said. Juliana Sweeny, contributor for Young Voices. I want you back. Next article you put out, do you have articles you are getting ready to put into place that we can be looking for?
I regularly am writing for The Lion, which is part of Herzog Foundation, so you can find me there as well.
Okay, fabulous. I am so glad to know you. Thank you for what you're doing. And for such a time as this, you are the Esther moment.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And thank you so much for having me on.
My pleasure. Have a great weekend and thank you so much. We will see you soon.
See you soon.